Today you'll discover 9 habits that quietly undermine your position in the world. Not only professionally, but also in human relationships. These are behaviors that may seem trivial at first glance, but in reality, they say far more about you than your words ever could. Because the truth is, people don't remember what you say, but they always notice how you behave. You appear in someone's field of vision and are instantly judged, not for who you truly are, but for how you present yourself. If your presence is weak, if you seem uncertain, others will read that as an invitation to control you. I invite you to take an honest look in the mirror and become aware of the signals you're sending. Because in a world ruled by competition, a lack of clear presence is an open door for those who want to dominate you. Your body speaks louder than words. When you stand tense, hunched, with an uncertain gaze, you show the world you don't feel in control. Fidgeting, touching your face or clothing, looking around aimlessly. These are signals others perceive as weakness. Your body reveals that you lack control over yourself and your surroundings. Even if you try to hide fear, your nonverbal language clearly manifests it. People don't need words to sense your insecurity. They will instinctively pull away or use it to dominate you. Ask yourself, does your posture say, "I'm here to lead," or "Please don't notice me"? True strength begins with mastering your own space. When you feel the need to constantly justify your decisions or actions, you're unconsciously admitting you're not confident in them. Explaining yourself is like surrendering. If you feel you must convince others of your reasoning, it's a sign your stance is already being questioned. People seek explanations where they sense weakness. True authority doesn't need excuses. Take responsibility and stick to your choices without justification. When you stand confidently and remain silent, you say more than 1,000 words. 3. Seeking approval through laughter and compliance. Forcing a smile, laughing at things that aren't funny, or agreeing excessively with others is an attempt to gain approval at the cost of your dignity. When you become the group clown, you lose control over your image. People don't respect someone who's always nice and agreeable at the expense of their own boundaries. True charisma comes from authenticity and balance. You can be polite without being submissive. Learn to express emotions with intention, not out of fear of rejection. 4. Talking too much. Words are powerful, but not all deserve to be spoken. The more you talk unnecessarily, the more you expose your weaknesses and give others tools for manipulation. Silence is a weapon. It preserves mystery and control. Instead of filling every silence, learn to value and use it. You don't need to prove your worth through chatter. Your presence alone should speak for you. Avoiding conflict at all costs. Fear of confrontation often makes you yield, fail to express your opinion, and allow others to take control. Not standing firm in defending your boundaries signals weakness. True strength lies in the ability to set boundaries and express yourself without aggression, yet with firmness. Don't be afraid to say no and defend your values. It's this kind of courage that builds respect and authority. Indecision and inconsistency undermine your credibility. If you say one thing but do another, you lose trust and become an easy target for criticism. Authenticity is consistency between words and actions. Be faithful to your values and decisions. Your actions must confirm what you say. 7. Being too receptive to criticism. Not all criticism is constructive. Accepting everything without analysis shows a lack of opinion and strength. Learn to filter other people's opinions, and don't let negative words lower your self-worth. True strength is defending your point of view without aggression, but with confidence. Poor listening skills. Being truly present in a conversation and listening attentively is a sign of strength, not weakness. When you constantly interrupt or focus only on yourself, you show egocentrism and a lack of respect. Let others speak, listen attentively, and respond consciously. This builds connection and authority. Don't ignoring your own needs and boundaries. If you always put others before yourself, neglecting your own needs and allowing people to invade your space, you undermine your value. Take care of yourself, set boundaries, and don't let anyone take advantage of you. Respect begins with self-respect. How you show up, how you speak, how you stand, these determine whether you will lead or be dominated. Don't let small, unconscious habits take away what you most need: respect and authority. Be aware, be present, be yourself, but the version of yourself who knows what they want and how to get it. It's not easy, but it's the only road to true freedom and strength. Imagine 2 people in the same situation, for example, at a social or business meeting. The first stands upright, head held high, with a steady, calm gaze. The second is hunched, constantly fiddling with their sleeve, eyes darting around. Who will earn the attention and respect of others? Who will be remembered as someone who has something to say? That's exactly how body language creates the first and often decisive impression. Many people don't realize that even in silence we communicate more than with words. Psychological studies confirm that more than 70% of communication is non-verbal, so if your body is shouting insecurity, you don't have to say a single word to already be judged. Think of it as a secret message you send unconsciously, and if you don't learn to control it, it will work against you. Recall a time when you had to explain a mistake or decision. After each extra excuse, did you feel stronger or more burdened? Often people explain themselves out of inner guilt or fear of rejection. But paradoxically, the more you talk, the more you undermine your position. Imagine a leader who made a mistake. Have you ever seen them apologize repeatedly and over-explain? Usually they take responsibility and move on. That builds an impression of confidence and control. When you resort to over-explaining, you send the signal that you fear consequences, and that opens the door to further attacks or manipulation. Laughter is a powerful social tool. It can connect people and ease tension. But when it's used as a mask to hide insecurity, it becomes a trap. Imagine someone who laughs constantly, even when they don't understand the situation or when something irritates them. Are they seen as strong or as someone unable to express themselves? Submissiveness and trying to impress others by being nice can make you predictable and easy to dominate. True charisma comes from authenticity, not from conforming to others' expectations. In a world where information is at your fingertips, an excess of words can be not only tiring but harmful. Talking loudly and constantly is not a sign of intelligence or confidence. Quite the opposite. Sometimes silence and the ability to listen build greater respect. Leaving space for mystery makes others want to know you more. Think of how many times in a conversation you tried to fill the silence because you feared it would be taken as weakness. Master the art of intentional silence. It's one of the greatest powers you can possess. Many believe avoiding conflict is a way to maintain harmony. But do you really want your life and decisions to be steered by others? Conflict isn't always war. It's also a way to clearly define boundaries and express your values. Ask yourself to come out confrontation out of fear of rejection or loss of approval. But a true strength is being able to calmly, without aggression, say no or this is not for me. That builds respect and shows you have control over your life. Imagine someone who says one thing but does another. How many times has that destroyed trust and created chaos? Consistency is the foundation of trust. When your words align with your actions, you build credibility. Lack of consistency is like a crack in a structure. Others begin to doubt your value and intentions. Not every opinion has equal value. Accepting criticism without discernment is like accepting poison. Learn to recognize which feedback is helpful and which is an attempt to undermine you. True strength lies in distinguishing constructive criticism from destructive and responding accordingly. We often think that being heard is the most important thing, but real power is in being an attentive listener. By truly listening, you show respect and interest, which builds relationships and strengthens your authority. In the pursuit of approval, we often forget ourselves. By neglecting our own boundaries and needs, we hand control of ourselves to others. Respect begins with caring for your own self. Don't be afraid to put yourself first when the situation requires it. Power is not about dominating others, it's about mastering yourself. These 9 mistakes are traps that can destroy you if you're not aware of their impact. Every day you have a choice to build your strength and authority, or to let small habits take control. Remember, every gesture, every word, every silent moment matters. Master yourself, and you'll master the world around you. How to become someone who can't be ignored. Everything I've said so far comes down to one fundamental issue: your presence. What does it mean to be present? It's not just about physical presence, about standing somewhere in a room. Presence is the state of being fully aware of yourself and your surroundings. It's the energy you project and the way you influence the space around you. Think about people who walk into a room and immediately draw attention, not because they shout, but because they are authentic, calm, and unshakable. These are people who can be alone with themselves and don't need others' approval. Their presence is like an invisible force. In Stoic philosophy, it's emphasized that true power comes from mastering yourself, not others. Marcus Aurelius wrote that it is not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. That means it's we who decide whether external events will weaken us. So these 9 mistakes are, to a large extent, habits of the mind and emotions that we can change. It's not about manipulating the world, but about working on yourself. When you learn to control your reactions, your influence grows naturally. Silence in conversation is not the absence of words. It's a space that allows the other person to feel important and heard. It's also a space that speaks of your confidence. You don't have to fill every gap with words. Let silence work in your favor. Create an impression of mystery and control. Most people wear masks daily, behaving in ways meant to please others. But that's a road to nowhere. Authenticity is a magnet that attracts those who truly value you. Saying what you really think and doing what you believe is right, even at the risk of rejection, is real courage. The first few seconds of a meeting determine how you'll be remembered. Your gestures, tone of voice, and posture all build the image others have of you. That's why it's worth working on them consciously. Practice calm, confident movements. Maintain eye contact, but not aggressively. Don't let nervousness take away your space. Practical tips for everyday life. Practice a conscious body posture daily, in front of the mirror. Before a conversation, take a few deep breaths to center yourself. Run to your mirror. Instead of over-explaining, learn to say "that's how it is" with certainty. Practice silence, in conversation, and in stressful situations. Conscious choices. Your path to authority and influence begins now. It's not a matter of luck or genetics. It's daily work on yourself and conscious choices. Start with small steps. Observe your body, your words, your emotions. Work on a presence that makes it impossible for others to ignore you. Remember, strength is not about dominating others, but about mastering yourself. Take the first step today and begin your transformation. Additional mistakes that weaken your authority. Lack of intention in action. Acting without purpose is chaos. Many people drift through life like leaves in the wind, reacting to impulses, the expectations of others, or unexpected events. Lacking a clear intention in your actions is one of the greatest forms of self-sabotage. When you don't know why you're doing something, how you want to do it, or what the goal is, your energy becomes scattered. Your moves turn chaotic, and others sense it. They unconsciously perceive you as uncertain and inconsistent. Think about your goals, values, and direction. Every action should be conscious, carrying purpose and strength. Lack of control over emotions. When emotions lead you astray, emotions are powerful and natural. But if you let them control you instead of managing them consciously, you become a slave to your own reactions. In moments of tension, stress, or frustration, you may unintentionally show weakness. For example, an outburst of anger at the wrong moment can cost you respect and trust. Stoic philosophers teach that emotions should be observed and managed, not suppressed or demonized. Work on your emotional intelligence. Learn to recognize your emotions, give them space, and decide how you will respond. Giving in too quickly to social pressure. Social pressure is real and powerful. Many people act under its influence, losing their authenticity and direction. Have you ever done something you didn't really want to, simply because others expected it? Pay attention to how often you give in to pressure instead of standing firmly by your decisions. Being yourself requires courage, but that courage is what builds true strength. Lack of self-awareness. Not knowing yourself means lacking a foundation. Without deep self-knowledge, it's hard to create authentic presence. Self-awareness is the key to understanding your strengths, weaknesses, motivations, and boundaries. Without it, you're easy prey for manipulation, stress, and distraction. Philosophy and psychology have long emphasized the importance of knowing oneself. As Socrates said, "Know thyself. It's the foundation of all wisdom." Following superficial values and trends. In a world full of fast-moving information and social pressure, it's easy to fall into the trap of chasing what's fashionable. But true power and authority come from inner values that are stable and timeless. Don't let others' opinions or fleeting trends dictate your life. Become the architect of your own life philosophy. Your journey to authority and influence is not a sprint but a marathon. It requires time, patience, and consistent effort. But what you gain will exceed your expectations. It's not about becoming someone else. It's about bringing out the best in yourself. Every day, decide to consciously shape your posture, mindset, and behavior. Be like a sculptor, patiently shaping a masterpiece. Your presence is your most valuable asset. Invest in it wisely. Giving in to negative inner narratives. How you sabotage yourself. Often the most dangerous opponent isn't other people, it's your own mind. Every day we have hundreds of conversations with ourselves. Some uplifting, others destructive. When you let negative thoughts dominate, "I'm not good enough, I don't deserve it, this will never work," you weaken the very foundation of your strength. Buddhist philosophy teaches that the mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant there will grow. So choose your thoughts consciously. Nurture a positive, constructive inner narrative. Inability to accept compliments and success. How often do you downplay your achievements? Maybe you respond briefly to praise or quickly change the subject, as if what you've done doesn't matter. Not being able to accept recognition is a hidden form of low self-esteem. Learn to value yourself and your successes. This strengthens your authority and shows you're aware of your worth. Lack of flexibility. Rigidity as a trap. Being firm and consistent is one thing. Being closed off to new ideas, opinions, and changes is something else entirely. A true leader knows how to listen, adapt, and learn in real time. Rigidity leads to isolation and loss of influence. Practice flexibility. It's a sign of strength, not weakness. Avoiding responsibility for your own decisions. Some people prefer to blame others or circumstances rather than take full responsibility. This leads to a loss of trust and respect. Accept that you are the creator of your reality and bear the consequences of your choices. Responsibility is the foundation of true power. Power over yourself, the first and most important form of power. Each of these mistakes is like a leak in your ship. If you let them go unchecked, water will sink it fast. But if you consciously eliminate them and strengthen your foundations, you become the captain of your own fate. Authority starts from within. It's not about physical strength or resources. It's about consistent work on yourself, your choice and your future. Today you have the chance to begin your transformation. There is nothing more powerful than a person who knows their flaws and works to overcome them. Remember, every day is a new opportunity. Be aware of your behavior. Observe your gestures, words and thoughts, and act with intention, courage and consistency. The world is waiting for you to rise and take your place. Lack of intention in relationships. Superficial contact, instead of deep bonds.
We often think that having many acquaintances and being everywhere is a sign of strength. But the faux truth is different. Real strength in relationships lies in intention, in genuine interest in another person, in building trust and reciprocity. Shallow contacts are like empty noise that only distracts and weakens your influence. Instead of multiplying surface-level connections, invest your time and attention in people who truly matter. Lack of skill in asking questions, building authority through curiosity. Words have power, but questions have even more. People often avoid asking questions for fear of revealing ignorance or weakness. Yet asking intelligent questions shows curiosity, openness, and intellect. It signals that you're in control of the conversation and want to understand more. Questions engage others and shift the dynamic of relationships. Don't be afraid to ask. It's a tool for building authority and depth. Inability to express your own opinion, fear of confrontation. Many of us avoid expressing our own opinion to avoid criticism or conflict. But silence is golden only when it's intentional. If you're silent out of fear, you give others the space to decide for you. Your opinion has value. Learn to express it respectfully and firmly. That builds authority and shows you're truly present in the discussion. Neglecting your own development. Stagnation is regression. Authority is not static. It's something you have to nurture. If you stop growing, you lose your edge. Learn new skills, read, expand your horizons. This not only enriches you as a person, but also increases your value in the eyes of others. How story shapes your authority. People love stories. They give meaning to facts and create emotional bonds. If you can tell your story in a coherent, convincing, and authentic way, you strengthen your position. Narrative is a tool of influence. Use it consciously. How small gestures build great power. Gratitude is not only a quality of a good person, it's also a powerful tool of influence. Showing appreciation to others for their effort, support, or simply their presence builds relationships based on reciprocity. Someone who values others gains loyalty and respect. Body and mind as the foundation of authority. You can't build authority on a weak foundation. Your body and mind are the instruments you use every day. Neglecting them affects your energy, focus, and presence. Take care of your physical and mental health. It's an investment in your power. These additional mistakes and reflections show how multidimensional the art of being an influential person truly is. It's not just about outward behaviors, but about deep work on yourself, body, mind, and spirit. True power is inner harmony, authenticity, and constant growth. Which of these mistakes resonates most with your own experience? What can you do today to begin changing this aspect? How does your presence show up in everyday situations?